This is the first one. Yeah, so
Yep.
things like that. I don't know why that it just doesn't strike me to play that. I would have.
Well, okay, let's chop it up for a second.
Yeah.
One thing would be that as a three-note diminished shell
Yep.
is just remember it because you can put the A in the melody
Right.
or the G.
Or C.
C, sorry.
Yeah.
And then really all you can technically put any of the other notes from the diminished scale in there.
Mm-hmm.
Now it looks like an E flat 7, strangely enough.
And then on the third string now, so now you're.
On the second.
Yeah. So that would be the E flat in the melody.
Yep.
It's just a dominant 7.
Yeah, so follow me on this. E flat, E natural,
Ah.
F sharp.
F sharp.
Yep.
Yeah, of course that one.
G,
G. Oh, you're on
A,
the scale.
B flat, C. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's cool. If I stagger it a little bit,
Then back to B flat major.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah. That's interesting.
Uh-huh. There's a song right there.
Exactly, exactly. Maybe I could harmonize it. That's better. So, and then I'm getting the C sharp diminished voicing. And I'm playing that C sharp, G, E, C. So I'm skipping the
Skipping
third
with your.
string. Because that would double the C.
Yeah.
And here's the suspension.
Mm-hmm.
And then voice lead to this B flat with the D in the bass. Yep.
Just straight B flat major. 7 over D.
Yeah, or you could put the C sharp in.
Ah, that's what it is. C sharp.
That's I can't play that in real time, but that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. How's the C sharp factor into that?
I'm keeping it tonic diminished.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh
yeah.
that chord is like a D harmonic minor chord.
Right.
But think about B flat in the bass.
Yep. Oh, that's a good one. That's a six string one there.
Yeah, it's just so cool to see these shells because if you're starting
hey.
to treat, it's a beautiful, right? Yeah.
Well, that's just an A triad now. See? Okay.
Well, it's exactly what he put in the chart, right?
Right.
But the big thing for me is shells and suspensions, because what we're doing is we're saying if our shell is this, now I can find any note I want to go on either string and it's going to work. So if my suspension is,
Yeah.
and also
Oh.
I'm just moving up my minor third.
Yep. So you can play that chord for that.
Yep.
Bass note would be a little weird, but
It's just trying to find it, and this is in a whole other shell. You see, like the one with the E instead of the G.
Yeah, I was messing with that too, right?
So
Oh.
do the same suspensions. I mean, that's hot. That's hot business there.
Mm. Mm. Try to get that one.
Now think about all the way up to the G. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, and I'm playing the first and six, and then I'm playing the D flat and the B flat after it.
Is the melody B flat to A flat?
The melody's just A, because I'm gonna go like two notes.
Uh, that's great. A flat E. What's that C doing there? So if I'm thinking about it, I don't even know if this is
Yeah,
there's a point to this, but if I'm still thinking about the A triad, it's more like an A7 sharp 9 over B flat.
think about your diminished extensions. It's
Right.
A13, sharp
Sharp
11,
11.
9, sharp 9. All of
So it
those
should be
extensions.
9 then.
I don't
But
think
why?
all of these are going to work. I'm not saying they're all going to work because some of the
Right.
melody notes are outside of the key.
I guess that's what I'm asking because the C right here, I see the
That's
E, I
yeah,
see the C sharp. Is C
yeah.
from the tonic diminished?
Yep, it's C from diminished, yeah.
Okay.
But I'm just saying if we like that sound, you know what I
Right.
mean? To practice because there's a to me, to my ear, that's a very novel sound.
Mm-hmm.
And if we did like the one we did here, the same deal, I would want to just practice seeing let's see. What's the next one?
I just got where I was wrong.
Just to kind of practice new diminished habits.
Yeah. But you should be thinking B flat. So C is the 9 of B flat, not A.
That's right. It's the 9 of B flat diminished, but it's also the sharp 9 of the A, the half whole.
Right. Okay. So that's why it works. But would it be silly to think about it as an A7 sharp 9 over B flat?
No, not at all.
No. Okay.
That's what this one looks
Yeah.
like.
So yeah.
B
Okay.
flat, E, A, C sharp, G, C.
Because when you're up here, you got the 7th, 3rd, sharp 9 root of the A. I don't know. Maybe that is a little too much to think about. But yeah.
It's a delayed resolution.
Mm-hmm. Is that right? Oh, one more fret. Okay. See. That's a lot to think about. Yeah, it's a great chord sound. The space
It's a
between
beautiful
the first two notes and the second two notes is very cool.
And that's the thing that'll give you the most mileage. Is like that's gonna sound cool just because it sounds cool. So you can kind of use it,
Mm-hmm.
almost anywhere you want. Where would be a setting we could use all of diminished? I guess instead of it being tonic diminished, which sometimes come from harmonic minor, if we had what's a tune with a diminished? See,
With the tonic diminished.
yeah, just as like a 5 of F.
Oh, major.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Mm-hmm. Or how about, rhythm changes? Let's see. Um, what's like bop, 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 bop. So on the D chord, we'd have, and then the G chord would be
E flat, yeah.
C chord, F chord. It's wild,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a fun
Anywhere
one
you
to
do a
play with.
diminished, yeah, substitution, I guess.
And this is the same one, right? Like C sharp, G and E, C sharp, G and E on this string set.
C sharp,
So
G and
instead
E.
of this C sharp diminished, right?
Yep, yep.
You're just looking at skipping that one note.
With an
So
A.
our extensions would be A would be one, B flat, that'd be the actual full diminished chord, and there's the major seventh.
When you refer to it as the major seven, you're
Of the
referring to it
diminished.
from the C
Of,
sharp
of the diminished, yeah.
of the diminished, right?
Because major seventh is the sound of tonic,
Yeah.
and it just has a very pleasing sound. What's fun is, we play this one a bunch with the C on the G string.
The C on the G. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
You see how it takes your typical drop two diminished and makes it a diminished major
Right, that's the
seventh.
one I was using for
All
Roger
this
songs.
chord is that C up an octave.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
You're swapping it out.
yeah. Sure.
You still see it. This is an open position C major triad
Yeah.
with a C sharp bass, just like the A over B flat. It's a bit of a
Yeah, I guess.
stretch. Here's your other Stella chord, right? It's the same chord, but down here.
Mm-hmm. A.
Yeah, it's hard in this position, but I'm saying that's,
Right. So it could just simply be this too,
that's right.
with a bass player playing B flat.
But notice again when you play this, you're playing the same shape shell.
Yeah, I do this all the time, right?
But just remember that any one of these notes can be the melody. It just gives you more freedom with the voicing. Like this B flat E C sharp one with the A here.
B flat. Oh, you barring,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm barring.
Yeah.
And here you can hear the A sound like a suspension.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so therefore that moves. This is some Mick Goodrick shit, you know what I mean?
Is it?
Well, it's taking voicings that you know, like any diminished. Remember, if we know this now, diminished major seventh, and then you're just taking that and moving around the octave like Ted Green and Mick did this. Is just take something obvious, but start putting through the systems of saying, well, what if I swap one of these notes out for another? This is a pretty common chord. Diminished major seventh is a typical chord. It's just one flat three, and instead of diminished seventh, diminished fifth, and instead of diminished seventh, it's major
Six.
seventh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just start moving around the octaves.
But even though it's coming from a B flat, diminished, you're putting a D flat in the bass or C sharp.
It's
You'd,
just anything moved by minor third works.
right, but you still refer to it as coming from the D flat diminished. You wouldn't call it a B
Correct.
flat diminished over D flat, right? That would be silly.
Um,
Because then it wouldn't be a major seven. It'd be, what would you call that? You know?
oh, I guess that'd be a well. That's interesting because that's all from B flat diminished.
Right.
I've
And
never
I can see that, but if you're looking at the chord in the chart,
it's a ninth. I mean,
a
that would
nine,
be
right?
B flat diminished with a nine, major nine.
So how do you write that? B flat circle Maj 9?
Yeah.
Huh.
Or
Because it's got a major 7 in it and it's got a 9. Wait, where's the major 7 though? Doesn't have an A in it.
doesn't have an A in it. It could.
Yeah. I
That's
don't know, I'm just curious. Like, I've never seen that before, and how would you write that? But it's almost like a first inversion B flat diminished, if that makes sense.
yes. Well, I mean, all diminished chords are okay. So yeah,
Right.
let's get into it. Let's
Sorry,
get
making
into
things
it.
too complicated.
No, I think this is great because if you do B flat diminished major seventh,
Yeah.
the next inversion of it is this one we're talking about.
Right.
But if you do one more, the chord extension is no longer consonant with the sound of B flat. And then
Yeah.
one more, it's completely out of the key.
F sharp.
So yeah, trying to resolve these all to B flat. That's easy because it's in the key. The next one, also very easy. This one, I have to work on it a little bit harder. But it's just interesting, right?
D natural.
That's what my ears tell me. Is even harder. I guess you could do that. John, it's this is the magic part, is what makes it work is using your ear to make the melody be a good melody. It's never the chord's fault. Right? It's like you're using the shells that you know work and trying to memorize them as 3-note structures wherever. But then you just have to use the right hand of your piano player brain to
Right.
find melodies through it and stop in every instance thinking of it as a 4-note chord.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
when
back
you-
to our soapbox statement about this stuff, right?
Right.
Is don't worry about how that melody note. You can worry about it a little bit, but at the end of the day, as long as it's voice led and a good melody, that's what made this thing work. It's just that melody is just gorgeous.
Yeah.
So if I'm trying to figure out how to call that B flat diminished 11th, you know what I mean?
I was thinking about that. Yeah.
That's not as important as here's a B flat shell, and I know that is, and I know that they're invertible by minor third. So every instance, if we're in the key of B flat, it's always a B flat diminished, no matter what inversion it's in. But
Yeah. Yep. It's all
No.
just B flat diminished.
it's all just B flat diminished, and let the melody be what it's going to be. The melody can come from diminished scale, it can come from harmonic minor, it can be chromatic. It's interesting that my ear wanted to go. That made sense to go. And then this one. But then this one. See what I mean? I just
Yeah.
did a closure.
Oh.
They're from the diminished scale. But I might prefer not to have the E flat, meaning sorry if I'm going too fast, but and then
Right.
now this one instead of what if I just went
Ah.
used an E?
Yeah.
Why
Which
not?
is,
Because
but you're changing the sequence there.
I'm taking it out of the scale, I'm changing the sequence, but I'm just finding a melody that works under the same old shell.
Yeah.
So
But that even doesn't sound that bad to me. I
it
mean, just
doesn't. No, because the
keeping it.
melody's good.
Yeah.
But see, now this one with the F sharp is technically from the diminished scale, but it's not in the key of B flat. So what if I just put a G on top
Oh
of it
yeah, it is.
instead?
Okay.
See how that just sounds? Here's what it'd be if I would just use diminished. So that's
Uh-huh.
from diminished, from diminished. Um, shit. Where'd my B flat? Maybe that.
Yeah, like a D minor.
Yeah. But now if I do it diatonically, now from the key, and then this one. See what I mean? It just that's what my melody choice would be if I went. So I
Mm-hmm.
put the chord underneath it, as opposed to thinking about what that note is to the chord.
I wonder what it is in relationship to F. Like, 9.
Sure.
Like, because we're kind of playing an F7, right?
A7 or C7 or E flat, other diminished way.
Ooh, right, because it's tonic diminished. Right.
Yeah. So it's all different melodic rules. Let's do it with the F. That's a cool way to flip it. Still resolving to B flat. So instead of B flat diminished resolving to B flat major, we have
C diminished.
F7. So what's that going to be?
No.
Yeah, let's get our voicing though.
You wouldn't keep the same voicing?
I would. I'm just trying to figure out where it is.
But I mean, wouldn't just moving it up to C
Yep, as I'm doing. Yep.
be the beginning now?
Yep.
But then where would you resolve that melody? Okay, to the root.
Well, yeah. So let's go to a couple others just to mess around.
Okay.
The E flat one is nice. Can you see the Lenny F13 shell
Yep.
there? But I'm skipping the
Right.
skipping the third
G string? Yeah.
Yep. And then resolving to B flat, like you say, a D minor. All right,
Just,
3
yeah,
blind
look.
mice.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's flip this one a little bit, and this is a great example. In minor, take the melody change,
Because you got to start on D flat.
and that's no longer diminished scale information, but it's still the diminished shell acting as
Right.
F7 flat 9.
Just be sharp 5.
Let's think of it as flat 13 since we're doing it as a suspension.
Oh, right.
So you want to think two ways with this stuff. One way is that D flat is a flat 6 to 5 suspension on F, but as a tonal melody, it's flat 3 2 1 in the key of B flat minor. So your brain kind of has to think just melodically in the key while the chords grabbing the right chords. And then you wind up with things where the top note of your chord is thought of just as it sounds as a tonal melody, and the shell is the shell.
Yeah.
Like a total separation
Makes
of
sense.
thought. Because guitarists were all frozen in what is this whole structure. Whereas if you simplify like a pianist and just grab the shell that you know works,
Yeah.
then you play.
There you
On the
go.
other hand, you just play in the key melody. Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's check out that cool resolution to the Lenny B flat minor 6/9.
So,
Yep.
and then, oh, minor, right? So Lenny 6/9 is what, this?
Yep.
Doing something wrong. I didn't have the root right. Okay, got it.
Yep. And perhaps better voice leading, since we had a G flat on the F7 chord, would be F B flat, since we're skipping the third string. Yeah. this is really lovely. Let's hear it both ways again. Major. Yeah. And then minor.
That's great.
This was a bit of a discovery.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever done that before.
And major too. Move the D flat to D. That's a B flat 6/9.
6/9, yeah. Whereas this was the 9, yeah. So in both cases, we didn't have a third.
Both work fine. I mean, honestly, the voicing sounds really smooth, regardless of how I play it.
Third's in the bass. Yeah. Sorry.
No, don't apologize.
So much going on. That's nice, yeah. 6/9.
Really pretty.
I could even do that, which is the kind of full any. Yeah. So that's all on F7 starting on E flat. The shell was... Our shell is this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're going...
So we were talking about inverting it, but I want to stay here for just one more second.
Yeah.
If I turn this into a 1-6-2-5-1, or let's say a tag, 5, 1, 6, 2,
G7.
And I'm going to use simple shells to make it sound like I'm comping for myself. So it's, I just grab G minor, and then C minor, and then F. I'm doing minor.
And then do it minor.
Yeah.
So would this be half diminished?
Yeah, I'm playing it like this.
Yeah. So what?
And then this would be half diminished too.
What are your top strings? 3 and 2?
I'm letting the B flat in the melody keep ringing. So
Oh, ring.
like,
Okay.
if I play this, I can keep it ringing.
Mm-hmm.
And
What
then
are you grabbing? 6, 5, and 4?
And then I can grab the half diminished here. 6, 5, 4, and 3.
And 3. Oh yeah! Wow.
Yep. Grab the C half diminished here if you wanted. To keep the B flat ringing. And then it's symmetrical. That's cool. That's a big discovery. The C half diminished shape is the 2.
Yeah. Because it's just lacking the actual
Now
7.
when you want to use this, you can grab it from the 2. So if you
Yeah.
can B half diminished to E, or it's Stella.
Ooh.
Yep. And then just like we do with this guy,
Right.
it's the same move. So Stella, right, would be be da 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 da.
To F minor. C minor. Oh yeah.
With the F7
The G.
to F minor.
Yeah.
B flat altered. Am I doing this right? D, A flat, G flat.
Yeah, I'm still hitting the G string. It's hard to skip that. What are you doing? Like P
I'm arpeggiating it.
M A?
P. Oh, I tuck my pick here a lot.
Yeah.
So
I kind of have that going on.
I'm like rolling my thumb.
Oh, okay. Still hitting the G string.
But
So that's where this problem lies. If I do this, I can't
Exactly.
split my I and M. Damn. Okay.
this is just a really good one for B flat, right? Because if you see B flat, the diminished shell is, so our melodies on the first string can be flat 9, natural 9, sharp 9. But if you consider your B string, I can make the B string have a flat 13 in it as opposed to a natural 5. So I'm bending my diminished rule, but sharp 9, flat 9 to E flat.
Sorry. E
That's
to
right.
E flat.
Yep.
Would that just be like a 6/9 again?
Or I'm using just a major 7 shell.
So you're back to the G string.
Yep. But there's a
skipping the
discovery in there by keeping the F. And E flat add 9. This is heavy duty stuff because I can already see a lot of ways to think about this. It's just based on the shell.
Yeah.
Instead of using this shell that has the B on the G string, we're using this shell, which is just guide tones in the bottom.
Right.
But as you move up, that's technically a B flat too,
You're
right?
on the B flat.
Yeah.
Putting a sharp, I guess, 11 on it.
Yep. But what's cool is it's a sharp 11 with a 5, a natural 5 at the bottom. You got to tap your B flat to hear the sound.
Yeah, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
I got to hear it in the context of the tune. No, it doesn't work melodically.
That E is a little much.
Yeah, it is.
What about E flat? Because that would be. Oh no, that wouldn't work because it's.
It's mostly about how to resolve to E flat. I don't mind the E.
Yeah.
How about that almost works.
Major 7.
Yeah. Do you remember the Ted Green voicing this one?
Major 7? Yeah.
Where you skip the D string. We call it voicing group 5, and then when you do it for C major on the 5th string. So these are V5s, V-5s is what he called these. If you take this and start moving it around, like take it through all the specs, C major 7th, D dominant 7th.
You're just changing the strings you hit. Oh, the top. Yeah.
That's where the 7th is.
Right.
C minor 7th.
Yeah.
C half diminished. Here's our chord.
That's the one we're doing. Yeah.
Doing C fully diminished.
Yeah.
Good. Now let's go through the other 9. C diminished major 7th.
Diminished major 7. That's the one that's up there.
Yeah, skip the G string though, right? Good. Let's go back to regular C major 7th. And see how tonic diminished resolves to itself.
Yeah. Just these guys move down.
Just for the sake of our left-hand thumb muscle, let's change the key to F.
Yeah, right.
So F major, F diminished major. Yeah. I'm finding barring easier, so I know that everyone's hands are a little different, but I love how the bar.
Yeah, that's cool.
Right? And now let's deviate a little bit with our melody to go from F diminished major 7th to F6.
To F6. Oh, okay.
F diminished major 7th.
Okay, diminished major 7.
And
Okay.
instead of F major 7th, we play F6.
Oh, the top. Yeah, okay.
And what I like about this is the melody goes down, the inner voices go up, and the bass stays the same.
Mm-hmm.
Got all the good elements of counterpoint there. Plus, it makes the melody more interesting.
Yeah. It's Hermitage. I finally got it. That's the sound I'm hearing. The beginning of Hermitage.
Tonic diminished. So let's write a tiny little tune. And now F minor major 7th.
Yep.
Think of that as a B flat Lydian dominant. And then F minor 6.
F6?
F minor 6.
Minor 6. Right, okay. We just keep it in the same shell then?
Yep.
Yeah.
And now C diminished. 9.
9.
Yep. To C major.
Are we going back to the G string on that one then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because look how the voicing. Oh, I see. Yeah. I mean, I guess it would be this, wouldn't it?
That's the same thing we started with.
See.
Right.
So that's better. You're right. The only problem is my hands are so used to doing this thing. I think it's almost smoother to do it that way, but theoretically, that's the better voicing.
Gotcha.
So it's just.
You're still going 5-1.
Right? I'm just finding as many voicings as I can through the system, but like trying to make it be like a tune at all times.
Yeah.
Deviate instantly rather than what were we doing? Major 7th, dominant 7th, 6, half diminished, minor 7th, diminished major 7th, minor major 7th, minor 6. What else haven't I done? Oh, dominant 7 sus4. That's a great one, the sus4.
Is that the diminished one?
Yep.
With a D on top? Okay.
And I want you do all the declension of those chords to just remind yourself that it's there, but keep mostly mindful of the bottom 3 notes of all of them, because that diminished that you're playing could also be that.
Yeah, so I'm getting stuck with what happened to our E flat thing that we were doing, where it was 1 fret higher.
Well,
why is it now?
I'm just thinking of it as the F diminished scale.
So what were we thinking about before when we were going?
Yep.
Oh, it was the same thing. Okay, never mind.
Different keys.
Yeah, it was the same thing. Because it's a natural 13 over an F diminished. Okay, think about it in terms of the F diminished.
Well, I don't think about it as a natural 13 on the F diminished. I think of it as diminished 7th.
Because it's the double flat 7. Yeah.
Well, and also here's the major 7th, remember?
And there's the major 7.
Here's the root. I think this is why I bar.
Root, right. Major
now
7.
We go
diminished 7.
This is the flat 13. Everyone forgets the flat 13. That's why it's nice to not think of natural 13 on diminished, because it's the diminished 7th, and then below it's flat 13, flat 5, double the B. Yeah, I wouldn't, although that's cool. But mostly I wouldn't bar because there's the 11.
11? So maybe this is getting close to that sheet that
It's
you
that
sent
sheet.
me. Ah, that was
But
the other thing I wanted to bring up anyway.
remind yourself a couple of things. Is that's F diminished,
Okay.
but that's A flat
Flat
diminished.
diminished, yeah.
A great A flat diminished chord, by the way.
Oh, one more down. Ah,
Yeah.
because that's the 9.
Let's
Yeah.
listen to it resolve to itself. A flat diminished, resolving to A flat major 9. My
Yeah.
voice is not perfect, but it's
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Mm.
And then how about
That's the same shell.
B flat diminished here? Start B diminished.
B flat diminished.
B,
Same
B,
thing.
B, same, yeah.
Right.
But put B first.
The B natural.
Yeah, because it's a B diminished, right? F diminished, A flat diminished, B diminished,
Right.
F. And then resolve it to B major 7th.
Mm.
To B major 7th.
So this one again. Nope. This one.
I'm just getting the same exact,
Right.
just simple B major 7th.
B major 7. Right. See, I think my problem again is I'm not thinking diminished. When I'm thinking B flat, I'm thinking B flat dominant. It's not a substitute. It's actual B flat diminished.
Yeah.
Or actual B diminished in this case. Okay. I gotta break that habit.
Well, it's you got to think of them both because all these ones that we're going through, I'm testing them, right? Because the next one's going to be D.
Yeah. Right.
That's a D diminished,
Yeah.
So we just want to hear how we can make it resolve. But let's flip this on this head and hope that this enlightens you. So F diminished,
Yep.
but what about E dominant 7? Now I'm thinking about the bass note being from the dominant side of the structure.
As I was doing. Yeah.
So that's E dominant 7, flat.
Sharp flat 5.
Yep, sharp 11, natural flat 9.
Sharp 9.
It's wild because if you look at it in like a regular E7 chord or an E major triad, I'm really just lowering the top note and raising the bottom note.
Raising the bottom note, yeah.
So
Nice voice leading.
where all the meaning comes from, man. When I have E in the bass, any of these
Their third's a nice one.
Yeah, they're
Third of the melody. Ooh. No. So there's where the natural 13 comes in on the E chord that I was thinking about. Right? Yeah.
yep.
Sharp 9.
So you can move the structure, or you can look at the structure and now look at it as a G7 flat 9. B flat. You see what I mean? The
Yeah.
context of what the root of it is. Yep.
Yep.
And you get all the same voicings, but you get them for the different key. Or you get the same key and you move through all the different voicings. This
Right.
G1 is kind of amazing because we've got the open third string we're not playing.
Right.
We can really hear that if these are beautiful.
Wow.
Gorgeous, right?
There's where the F sharp and the G sharp and the G hit each other.
And look down with the open string, right?
Yeah. Oh, that would be open E. Now on the D one, you're putting G in there just to keep it the same sequence.
Well, the sequence, I'm just saying we're not playing the G string, so in this key you can keep it be a pedal for all of them to
Right.
emphasize.
But this G right here
Yeah, it's the
could
same
also
shape.
be an A flat. We just
Well,
changed it for the sequence. Uh-huh.
it's the lower system,
Okay.
but
That's what I
it's more
thought.
interesting to hear in my ear to hear an extension in the melody. If we're thinking of it as a diminished, if I'm
13
thinking,
flat 7, root flat 9. You're talking about an extension of the diminished voicing.
yeah, exactly.
Interesting. Yeah.
And again, this is so
Whoops.
Mick Goodricky because Ted Green wasn't modern enough to deal with this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
But Mick is like,
Kind of got a Towner sound too, a little bit.
very much so.
You know.
Well, I mean, everyone got this stuff from Mick though.
Oh, okay. I gotta get more into him, I guess. I really don't know much about him
He didn't record super well, but the In Passing is a great record.
in passing.
And then he's on Deconstructed, that Steve Swallow record. He's got an amazing tune called Summer Band Camp. You should definitely check out.
Say it again.
Summer Band Camp is a tune off of In Passing, really, really good. He made a duo record with Wolfgang Mushspiel. And
That I've heard.
there's a
I think.
Frizzell tune that they played called Throughout. You know that one, speaking of diminished.
Yeah. We looked at that one.
What key the fuck is it in? Oh. What key is it in?
Wow. We must be repeating ourselves because I already have that in my library.
Interesting.
That whole Mick Goodrick album. I must have forgotten about it.
Oh, this is what. No, did we have anyway? Throughout. I don't want to get too tangential.
I think you sent me the chart once too. Don't you have a chart on it?
Yeah,
I feel like I have that.
that'd be a great one to work on with these sounds because it's actually a tune coming from these sounds. You know.
And that's on this album.
Yeah.
Okay. On which album?
Throughout is on that live Wolfgang.
Oh, the Wolfgang one. Yeah. I bet you I have that one too.
It's also on Frizzell's live record. It's the opening tune. It's gonna drive me nuts.
Sure. Billy Hart. Billy Hart version. Oh yeah, that album. I do remember this. I remember listening to this one a lot. This was in the spring. I remember now because I was listening to this album while I was planting my seeds.
Right.
I can remember us going through this now. It's awesome. Yeah, I have it.
It's
The
so,
all
it's
the things you are thing. Yeah.
right. Yeah. It's such a simple concept to take the basic voicings through all the declensions. It's what's not simple is to voice lead them and find context. So it's like I think the main lesson here is like on this Roger chart, you now have access to all these things, but keep in mind that on that particular sound, it's not really from diminished, it's from harmonic minor. So if you try to treat it like a diminished, melodically it might not work because things fall out of the key.
Is it from the 7th chord of the melodic minor?
It's from the 6th, right? So if you're in B flat, a B flat diminished, or basically that major 7 sharp 9 sound ends up being diminished. Here's the best way to play a D minor major 9.
Right.
Start on the D.
D minor. Major 9. Yep.
That makes perfect sense as a
There's
D
the
minor
A triad. Yeah.
harmonic thing. So now start that arpeggio from B flat.
Oh, harmonic minor.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I was thinking melodic. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Start from B flat. And then play that arpeggio. Now, look at the fact that B flat, G, and C sharp
Yeah.
are all in that arpeggio. or maybe the A is a better example because it's in the actual sequence.
Yeah.
So that's where it's actually from. It's actually from harmonic minor. It might be more interesting to start thinking about how to do this with that harmonic minor mode, because those inversions aren't going to be symmetrical. And that's the temptation with, and that's why that sounded so cool, is the symmetry of it. This actual voicing in harmonic minor would have to go to some other wild places. That makes sense to me, but yeah, to the inversion of it, what note are we missing? The E? B flat diminished. So that instead of, so the E, technically, I guess.
Why wouldn't you do F?
Are we thinking of it as B flat major?
I was just going from that D minor major 9 arpeggio.
Yeah, my brain's hurting. Well, the F makes it sound like a minor major, doesn't it?
I was thinking F an octave lower.
Well,
just kind of neat.
It is. My brain is like, if this diminished thing is invertible symmetrically, what is it if it's in harmonic minor? So like we were playing around with this voicing, right?
Oh, because of the E. Yeah.
Right? So the next inversion of that
works symmetrically, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
And then not here though, right? Oh yeah, no, wait.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
So let's put a note on top that we like. The A. That helps. That helps me a little bit. Because that's our tonic diminished.
Yeah.
So now when we move up to the next diminished shape, I guess you gotta put the C.
Wouldn't it be C sharp though? No.
It would be doubling, but now that's not a minor scale. Damn, this is weird.
Yeah. Just back to diminished again.
But this one would have to be D. This is a strange thing, man. I don't have this code cracked. I think the main thing is I'm just grabbing the shells of diminished and then trying to find a melody that works. That seems to make life a little simpler for me.
Yeah.
Because the theory of how to do this correctly through harmonic minor stops making sense unless you did every single like what are our regular chords? It's D minor major, E half diminished, right diatonically through harmonic minor, F major 7 sharp 5,
Sharp 5, yeah.
G minor 7, A 7. There's our B flat major.
B flat major 7. Yeah, that's right.
So I guess you could think of all of this stuff as like is coming from like all these chords technically work with this tonic diminished sound if it's from harmonic minor. So like if you're going if I want this sound all from harmonic minor, it's really like shit. What are all of them? There's the diminished. I don't hear it. I can't hear it, but I hear the scale work over it just fine.
Right.
And the
It's so close. I mean, it's
so close.
one note off, I think.
Maybe the secret might be using the melody from harmonic minor,
but the chords, the shells from diminished.
That's. Oh, sorry. This was our chord.
Yeah. sharp here
That works better, yeah.
on the E one.
And then either G or
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
that's a better way to do it. Yeah. It's that independence, dude. The independence is everything.
Yeah.
I feel like that seems to always be the answer, is figure out what your chord is and then explore melodies based on melody has its own rules.
Yeah, I get too wrapped up in is the melody note right? You know?
Everybody does. Well, I
It's
mean,
like-
make the melody be make sure you
Make it
hear the
sound
melody
good.
and then don't worry about how it fits with the chord.
Yeah, right. It's so that's what they 4 years at school like make you do. Now we have to
Well,
forget all that.
Like here's a great example: B flat major seventh with a B on top of it sounds really weird.
Uh-huh.
But if over the key of B flat you heard,
Sure.
you know,
I'm just still thinking of that note as a tension. I need to stop thinking about it as a tension. It's separate, like you're saying.
yeah, it's just separate.
Yeah.
Maybe that's an exercise, is
Overall B flat.
yeah,
Yeah, just train your brain. Just don't think about that other note.
exactly.
I could put a
For
dominant
yourself,
seven.
that tapping we're doing to get the bass, I'd think of these shells like we tap. How do I contextualize a melody? I put a chord underneath it because if I change the chord, it sounds different. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I just keep hearing melodies and over the chords as melodies, and then just try to land them funny.
You can actually make the dominant seven work.
Anything, yeah, anything works if the works. If it's a bad phrase, if you're not hearing the phrase, the chord will sound wrong.
Right.
But if you're hearing the melody very clearly, it sounds just fine. What's well, with Stella, using the shells, basically play an extension.
Mm-hmm.
Try to find a voicing.
Major seven, yeah.
Well, I'm playing the Lenny now for the A.
What chord is that?
I think of it as A7 sharp 9. Remember the A7 sharp 9?
Oh, right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're on the second chord. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then maybe resolving it to there's the 11th, the C minor.
Yeah. Ah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
A, F minor,
Where are we? A minor?
F minor.
F minor, right. B7.
Let's do that one. B flat 7, sharp 9.
Ooh, yeah. This one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, E flat major. See the minor third.
Uh-huh.
See what I mean? I'm letting my melody. I'm just trying to make the chord. If you were to play a melody and someone's going to play a chord beneath you, you can like react to it in a different way, as opposed to just plop the chord down,
Yeah.
right? And try to find melodies that are interesting, and then just put a shell underneath it. What you'll find is the chord that you stumble upon might be something you've never played before as a 4-note chord. You're just playing a melody with very basic 3-note chords underneath them. That's what's stunning us about all of this is the resolution of melody, not necessarily the structure itself.
Yeah, and then you can force yourself sometimes to use the new voicings, like the sixth,
Yeah,
B flat minor 6
exactly.
to E flat. So I always paint myself in a corner when I land on 1. I gotta stay away from 1.
Well, what's that the one of?
Like an E flat 7 with the sharp. I guess I could go. I could do
Yep.
that.
Let's do it together. So start on the E half diminished. Okay, but give yourself a new structure. Like let's focus on that, and then the melody note can be anything on that first string, or build from the second string.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Or,
Yeah.
right.
How about the same melody?
I know it takes experience, and I bet you that's what it is, but I wish I could come up with some rules to practice. Like, I mean, keep going, your pinky.
Yeah. So
It's like you almost always land on a pinky when you finish your melody.
well, or an index, because I can. Let's see. Let me do what I just did again. Uh, that's a good one.
Oh, yeah, that's like the Ave Maria chord.
Yeah. I got an A in there too.
Oh,
Or how about this one? That's easier to play.
so I should do pinky.
Yeah. You have just like this.
So 2-5 to D.
Yeah. Well, no, I was going B flat major,
Right,
E half diminished.
right. Okay.
What?
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, it seems like 90% of the time, it's pinky on the
Interesting.
melody. So, yeah. And I think that takes a little getting used to. But, doing that tune that I wrote really got me into that because I realized writing the tune, I had to use the pinky a lot to make it work, which is not how I'm used to playing. So I just need to keep doing that.
yeah, it's these melody exercises don't have. It's not like you're writing a tune, and it's not like you're writing an etude. It's like somewhere in between.
Yeah.
It's a voice leading exercise. If you make your, do you know about like in counterpoint like the ratio thing where it's like if you have like a whole note and then you have half notes against it, that's a 2-to-1 ratio.
No, I don't
You know,
learn that.
if you have, well, think about it. It's like one of the ways to make something sound like counterpoint is to have them move in different rates of speed.
Okay, yeah.
So let's say I had a bassoon, or go like and above it would be da 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 dum ba ba bum bum ba da da. You see what I mean? If they were both eighth notes, they don't sound independent. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So if I have like half notes, doom 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 dee dee doom dee 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 dee, and over that is ba ba da da ba da ba ba da ba da ba da da ba da da ba da. They're living in different worlds of strata. So like if I hold a chord for a whole measure, but have quarter notes, I'm really basically making this sound like a counterpoint study because I'm hearing the chord ring for the measure, and I'm basically playing what, half notes? mean? Just
Yeah.
half notes limit my melodic options.
Do they actually number it? Like quantify it? Like you said, 2 to 1, 4 to 1?
Well, it's like,
Like if it's quarter notes to a whole note, is that 4 to
yeah,
1?
that's right. A quarter note, quarter note to a whole note be 4 to 1.
Huh, I've never heard that. That's cool.
And remember, we don't want to be super strict about it unless we're doing something like this.
Hmm.
Because as soon as I start making that line, like I did with this, like that ba
Hmm.
ba ba ba, makes
Yeah.
that line more interesting.
Yeah.
But in general, it's living in the world of half notes, you see.
Right, right, right.
So if you ornament it to give it personality and character, it can basically be its own little thing. And
Stand
this
out.
this makes symphony and counterpoint writing way easier because you can be like, okay, the flutes for the most part are playing shabba-dabba-dabba-ba-da-ba-bam-ba-da. They're living in a 16th note grid. But against that, the basses are going bom ba
Hmm.
da da, and the cellos are going da do dee da dee da dee da. So you see,
Hmm.
they're living in this their own different registral strata,
Hmm.
like high and low sounds, but they're also generally staying at one rate of speed. So at their own rate of speed that's different from the other ones. Because if they were all doing 16th notes, it'd be a fucking mess.
Yeah.
And if they're all doing whole notes, it would just be mired in no direction. So you're creating subdivisions in a way,
Yeah.
like in
That's
the
a very
bluegrass
cool.
band where bass is playing 1 and 3, chop
Yeah.
is playing on 2 and 4,
Yeah.
fiddles are playing 16th notes against it, guitars playing quarter notes against it.
Hmm.
That's what makes it suddenly sound like a rhythmic unit. So this is a great way to take for your studies is you could do 1 to 1. A 1 to 1 voice leading study would basically just be saying like one chord, voice leading.
Hmm. Hmm. But still separating it. Yeah.
Still separating it and also being as melodic as possible within that ratio. Or
Hmm.
two, I'm going too fast.
Three, four. Yeah.
That's one of our weird ones.
Hmm.
Anything like that. And then three would be
Right. And it
so.
could be in any rhythm. It could
Yeah,
be
of
dotted
course.
quarter. Eighth note. Yeah.
Yep. And then
Dun, 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 right. It's still a 3 to 1 though.
yep.
That's
There, I
cool.
would
I
have
really
added a fourth one in there. But
yeah. But that see that kind of stuff. That's where my brain lies. I like having something to latch onto like that. It makes me know. I don't know. It gives me parameters. I
it's
guess
a
that I can.
system. It
It's a
just
system.
works.
Yeah.
The magic, the thing that makes it come to life, is making the exercise and the mathematical ratio and the exercise of it as musical as possible within the confines of the system. Because give yourself the freedom to once you start. I always think of it as like the door opening. Like suddenly you're like in the moment and you're hearing what it's supposed to do next. Once that happens, allow yourself to go there, but don't go crazy from that point on. Still stick to the basic idea. I want to
Yeah.
make motives happen, right? I want to make rhythms swing. I
Yeah.
want to make it as musical as possible. So the next thing I want to maybe have the same note be like let's see. See what I mean? That to me was simple, but it was like
Character.
motivic.
Yeah.
You know? That's I'm like, okay, I caught it. I've caught it. I'm going chromatically. So now what I choose for my voicings aren't as important as following the idea.
Yeah.
and then you land on something that's a nice voicing because you've been working on it. But I would write them down, either standard notation or shapes, to force yourself to learn some of these new ones. Like we both got to write a tune based on this.
The G string.
Yeah, the G string thing, or the stuff with the E underneath it. It's a really interesting discovery. Remember, we got there by saying it's a voicing group 5 group.
Right, E5.
Let's go through every different declension. I want to systemize this. So major 7th, dominant 7th, minor 7th, half diminished, fully diminished. Major 7 sharp 5, major 7 flat 5, dominant 7 sharp 5. Those are super crunchy chords. Really, really, really dissonant to my ears. Dominant 7 sharp 4. What am I missing? Major 6, minor 6, minor major 7th, diminished major 7th, which we already did.
Yep.
I sometimes even throw minor 7 flat, minor 7th sharp 5. I've been messing around with a little bit too, because mostly because I like thinking of it as a D flat major.
Oh yeah.
7th chord. So I'm going F, C.
The 5 and the sharp 5. Yeah,
did I do that wrong? I did it wrong. Sorry. It's this. F minor 7th.
Sharp to 5 there.
Yeah, that sounds like a D flat at 9 chord.
Oh yeah. Nice.
So,
yeah.
Wherever you have an F minor 7th, right, in any structure, if you raise the 5th, like this one that we use all the time, right? That one.
Minor, major 7 sharp 5.
Well, minor, yeah.
Interesting.
That's great. Now, what scale could that be from? That's all from the diminished.
Is it? It's what kind of has that sound, doesn't it?
Yeah, because look what we did. Look at tonic diminished.
Oh, there it is.
Now we're swapping out our flat 5 with the scale note above it.
Whole tone, yeah. I mean, whole step, yeah.
Well, just if we're thinking from diminished, though, we always have to think diatonically. Because we took F diminished and swapped out the diminished 7th with the major 7th. Every single note in a diminished chord, you can use an extension by lowering it a half step or raising it a whole step. So there's raising that step. Here's lowering it.
You did this one. Yeah.
Exactly. But now go to the middle string. Here's diminished, right?
Yep.
Let's take the A flat and replace it with a B flat.
And then,
replace it with you replace it with a scale note below it. It looks like a G7, but not if we're still hearing it as an F.
As an F, yeah.
And then the one on the D string is where we arrived at. This is the first. Whoa, that's right.
Yeah, it is.
That's really hard and dissonant to my ears. And if you do 2 of them, right, which is what we're doing here, is like the ones. These 2 went up a step.
Yep. It's starting to sound good to me.
Yeah, me too. So like moving these now in minor 3rd would be. Let's find one we really like.
Ooh. It's almost like a harmonized suspension when you do it like that. Ooh. No.
They're crunchy, man.
Yeah, that's about as I don't think you can do the B one.
Try this one on for size. Let's put the diminished 7th to the major 7th, but then take the minor 3rd and lower it to the 9th. So we have
with the bar.
It's the only way. Yeah, you could get it bar with a pinky too, but this is easier.
Yeah, that's kind of the one we started with.
F, B, skip the G string, G, E.
G. Oh, I guess we were doing A flat
Yeah.
before.
And now move it down a minor third.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah.
But if you can get the fourth string in there, you get like sixes or something. Anyway.
This is great. This is good
It's cool
stuff.
stuff. I really like these sounds, I guess. That's why I keep bringing it up. Nope. Yeah, so this one goes down to this.
Yeah, they're just upper. They're suspensions.
What if you did it backwards? And then I don't know.
Sounds great.
Made them go
Counterpoint.
different ways.
I'm also. Let's make this happen. A D diminished. So instead of thinking F as the root, think of D as the root. Ba bom boom beam. What you wind up with is
Nope. Yep.
it's a little different, isn't it? It's got the E in it. So for the world of D diminished, the E is the 9th of the diminished, and the G is the 11th.
To the root, it's like a 9-1, and then C sharp's the major 7, B's the diminished 7.
Yes. That's nice. Little bass motion in there. I've never played these before, man. What a beautiful discovery. But the system of this is pretty important. Is once you find a structure that you like, take it through all of the dominant, minor, whatever, and then start swapping a note out here or there. It'll work not just with diminished, it'll work with any old chord. And that starts illuminating the fact that you can have a melody and the chord underneath it is the 3 notes left over. I find that it starts making the drop 2s sound really boring because everything's too close together. When you get structures that have more openness in them, or if there's more separation between what register the chord is in and what register the melody has, you can hear them as being different. Drop 2, it's really hard.
I noticed, for instance, like here, if I'm going A7, I go there, and you went here. You know,
Right.
So that's an interesting discovery too. It's like, well, sometimes I can choose the lower. Yeah.
This sounds more like a piano player because, they have this. And this sounds more like Joe Pass or a guitar player.
Yep.
I don't think one of them is better than the other. It's all contextual. But I will say there's a more refreshing sound with the ones with the space.
Yeah.
Not refreshing in the sense of newer. Just like, God, we've been playing the drop 2s for such a long time, and we realize we're playing them out of habit.
Yeah.
As opposed to out of music. That's not what when we listen to the Bach cello suites or something with all you see, it's wider.
Yeah.
The distance between the highest note and the lowest note
Open triads.
are farther apart, and so by opening it up like that, it's like I said with a counterpoint. It's like the strata of the bassoons and the flutes gives us a fuller sound, and just quite frankly, then a more pleasing sound.
Yeah.
It's fuller.
Totally, man.
Yeah, I love it.
That's great. Well, we're way over. Sorry, I kept you for a little longer.
Oh no. This is I learned so much from doing this kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
It's just that I got to practice with it right away, or else it's going to disappear.
I know. That's why I like having these videos. At least I can go back
Yeah,
and kind of remember.
This is important. What would be a good tune for these? I mean, Stella would be good. There's so many dominant chords in there. You could try to use a diminished major 7th structure every time there's a dominant 7 flat 9, see where that leads you. But the 2-to-1, 3-to-1, 4-to-1 exercise, I think, is a really good way to go about it.
Yeah. I'm going to do that.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I'll see you. Let's see.
Yeah.
Sir, do you things get weird for you on the holidays?
We're just going for Christmas, so
Fifth.
I mean, I'll be here next Friday.
Would the 29th be better than the 5th for you?
How about you?
Uh, I'm
Yeah, I'm
completely
kind of
open. I'm just trying to finish a piece.
yeah. Um, yeah. Why don't we just do the 5th?
Okay.
And if for some reason maybe I'll, text you on
Yeah, hit me
Wednesday.
up.
I still want to look at these sheets you gave me. We didn't even make it to that again today. I want to look at those diminished extension things, but I guess that's kind of what we were talking about.
It's
But
exactly what we're doing.
yeah, maybe now if I look at it again, it'll make more sense.
You've got the major 7th is above the diminished 7th. You got the flat 13, which is below the diminished 7th. You've got the natural 11th, which is above the minor 3rd. You got the 9th, which is below the minor 3rd,
Yeah,
or above the 3rd.
you're just relating them to the dominant chord in the sheet, though. Extended
You do it either way.
arpeggios. Yeah,
If
I
you
see.
if you use this diminished chord that we've been talking about here with the V5, two birds with one stone. If
Yeah.
you look at the scale note a whole step above or the scale note a whole step below and think about what it means to F diminished, now think about what it means to we'll call this F diminished what? B flat 7 flat 9 or D flat 7 flat 9 or G maybe G 7 flat 9 since the guide tones are in the bottom.
Okay.
So there's the 5th. What we thought of as an F major F diminished major 7th is now a natural 13.
13. Yeah, and see that part I get.
Yes,
I was wondering if maybe this had something to do with the actual extensions on the diminished chord.
it does.
Now that I'm looking at it, you are relating it back to the
It's
dominant.
both. Don't I have it on both?
Maybe. Oh, look at that. There's another page. A diminished. Ah, see, that was what I was curious about, right? So you have the 9/11 and the flat 13.
Yeah.
I saw that when I originally looked at it, and I was trying to remember what question I had, and it was the second page.
Yeah. And so let's tie this in a nice pretty knot because if you go back to the Stella chord,
Uh-huh.
we find that the natural 9th, which is the melody there,
Right.
is great. And the major 7th also sounds amazing. But what gets a little bit hairy on hearing it over a tonic 1 chord, okay,
Yeah.
is that the natural 11 is the avoid note. It's the natural 4. We
Yeah.
never play that over a major chord even when it's major 7th.
Yep.
So it doesn't quite work in this situation. And then the other one is a flat 13. And then that flat 13 is something that we don't normally play
Yeah.
over that chord either, which is why those are the fake extensions when it's tonic diminished. But when it's when it's acting more as a dominant chord,
Yeah.
right? Because that was our hang up, right? Is B flat diminished going to B flat major is tonic diminished. But A diminished or C diminished going to B flat major is when it's acting as a 5 chord.
5/1. Yeah.
There's totally different worlds.
Yep. Is that also in the nearness of you?
Yep. But it's not cute.
F that one. It's got a natural 13 on the diminished.
No, that's a flat 13.
It's B flat diminished, going to A, right?
Well, the root of this is actually A flat. We're in F, right?
What chord is that?
It's a 2-5 to 4.
To B flat.
Yeah.
And the book, what's written is B flat diminished, which would be tonic diminished.
Yeah. No. Well,
So is that wrong?
no. Let's find the right voicing. I'm playing it as an inversion. I like this a lot better as A flat diminished.
Which is the 5 of A minor,
But
is the
that
3
A minor
chord.
is really F.
which is really F. Yeah,
So it is tonic diminished.
it is tonic diminished.
let's-
Yeah.
You can do F in the bass. A flat in the bass. Um,
Yeah, because that's the 11, right? That's the flat 13.
I'm gonna play something cool here. Play a regular but diminished here.
On B.
Take the top note up a whole step to G, and the note on the D string up a whole step to E, and those are your melody notes. Sorry,
what was the D
regular
string?
B diminished.
Right.
Now that'd be the flat 13 of
Right.
B. Now take the D on the third string and move it up to the 11th.
Okay.
Now that's the melody.
I wonder if that's just a mistake in the book. Then it's supposed to be B diminished, not B flat diminished.
It's not a B diminished. It's a B flat. It's a B. It's a B diminished, but or an F diminished. It's a tonic diminished in inversion, is what it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up then, because I've always been perplexed by that chord.
Well, no. Let's think of it more clearly. It's 1, 2, 5 to 4, da da. Oh shit! It is a B flat diminished.
So it's a tonic diminished of the 4. Does that make sense? Well, no, it wouldn't be, because that's not flat 13.
It tracks to me more like a minor 4 chord sound.
Okay, that makes sense.
Let's think. Oh, you're gonna laugh. F harmonic major.
So it is that 4 minor
The
4.
fourth mode of F harmonic major. But I might hear this a lot like a C7 flat 9 resolving to F.
Yeah. So that's the kind of thing where if I'm on C7, sometimes that doesn't work.
Because it's not in the key of F.
Yeah, because it's not in the key of F.
Check out major in this section, John. If we did, here's another inversion, right? But
G. Yeah, they're all different, aren't they?
Then we can get all these really great melodies there. But they break a little rules. It's not from that's diminished.
Right.
This is diatonic to F. I'm just choosing all the notes from F major.
And that's coming from the harmonic major, you think?
It's a little bit of everything, you know.
Okay. All right, well, at least it wasn't an easy answer. I've always...
Strangely from the F major bebop scale, because isn't there a C, C sharp, and D? This one is C sharp, D.
Right, and then an E natural.
F, G.
F, G. Nope.
No. F.
B flat. Oh, right. There it changes. So 2 of them are one way, and the other 2 are the other way.
Yeah, it's like if you're playing a D7 flat 9, like these are. But when I get to here, if it's going to G minor, I'm going to choose a B flat, and then a G.
Yeah. Just to keep it in the key.
Well, yeah, it's like so. Let's do it with familiar shapes. Drop 2 would be this, right? Sharp 9, like a D7.
D7. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And then but then
Yeah. E flat. So two are one way, the other two are the other way.
and that's to go to G minor.
Yeah.
And if I did it to G major, it would be. See, it's like
Yeah.
instead of trying to figure out what the rule is in terms of how it works for the chord, you just think about how it works for the key.
The key. Yeah.
Separate your melody from the chord.
Same
These
thing,
would be fun to, instead of playing this, right? We can use our open F sharp C A.
Open.
Put an A in there. Third string.
E flat.
It's a D7 chord, so I'm going to use D. Remember, I'm playing D7 flat 9 going to G.
Up here.
Yep.
Yep. Gotcha.
And then here, if it's going to G minor. Yep.
Yeah.
I guess this one would be.
Yep.
Yep.
So that's just another thing. It's just entirely.
Oh yeah, and you can play it on the instead of using the
I was
open.
wondering about that. Yeah.
Yep. And if it was going to go to G major, they'd be. Tonic diminished.
Nice. Yeah. So.
That's a tricky one too. So 2 are half steps and 2 are whole steps. But if you think of it as that system, you ignore the point of you can change it to major or minor by using the melody note from whatever key you're in.
Diatonic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think? I mean, composing this, like, what are they doing? Do you think they're thinking of that, or it's just like, just the nearness of you? You know, that chord doesn't happen very often like that. I feel like
It's all over Rachmaninoff piano pieces.
okay, yeah. So you think
It's a romantic, it's a late romantic, early 20th century sound. You're going to hear it in every movie, from the 1940s to the 1960s, because of its expression. Look at your melody notes; they're from the key of F.
yeah, it's a 7/9.
Yep. And so look at your shell, at B flat minor. You got basically a B flat minor sixth. Very, very typical Beatles minor 4 nowhere man move. So if you separate your concept of is this a diminished chord or whatever, it's kind of like a 4 minor sound with those E and G's from the melody. So like, because it's an enclosure of B flat minor 6.
Right.
Like maybe that's where we're really going wrong. Is it?
The melody.
You wouldn't think twice about playing that as an enclosure B flat minor 6. So it's way more like it's a B flat minor 6 shell with an E in the melody, but only for a very brief amount of time.
Yeah.
Look, I could play it with the F in it too.
Yeah.
Open G, open E.
That's a great voicing.
That's a great one. Yep. And of course,
Better than this. Making the mistake, and I do that all the time.
I could hear it as a B diminished just as easily.
B flat, D diminished. Yeah.
Well, as a B, they both work because they both go towards F. Right? One of them's the tonic diminished, and one of them's the 5 diminished. I think the way we're looking at it is that it's way more minor 4 than it is anything else. Because what would you call this? The double,
totally
the natural 5 over a diminished. That's where it actually resolves to. When you go to the F chord, playing it like this as opposed to like this, helps you hear it as F a little better. but that would be nice too. And also change the turnaround to dominant.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and then
Isn't that a D?
change,
That should be D
no, three
7, right?
A7.
Oh, turning the 3 into the dominant,
Yeah,
and then D7 would be,
yep.
yeah, okay.
Like this whole thing, you know, really. Um, let's see, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Tritone.
to
Yeah, yeah,
a C7, 3. See what I mean? Like a turnaround. Turnarounds are awesome because by adding the sharp 9, you basically made the melody note the 5 of the key you're in.
yeah. Right,
You
right.
made it actually sound more in the key.
Yeah,
As opposed to being like, oh, sharp 9, that's altered, that's interesting. No, no, no. It's
Yeah.
A7 with just C from the melody. It's more simple because of the diatonicness of it.
and more colorful with just A minor.
Yep, exactly.
Go to that one, maybe. But you wouldn't want to do it on that. Yeah,
Now that's interesting because you're holding the B flat,
Mm-hmm.
but C minor ringing with an F.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds weird, right? But it's
Mm-hmm.
just like what we're talking about. The melody is the melody. It's not the bright lights that indude me.
I might still use this.
Or, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm getting the A in there
G in the
too.
bass, yeah.
There we go to that. A flat, dominant 9.
9. Yeah.
And then G minor.
Yeah.
That's a C, C7 flat 9 sus4, like a B flat minor.
Yeah.
A again, yeah.
Right.
D,
Right. If you're still holding on to it.
yeah. Sharp 5.
Mm.
Um, um, you know, it's the simplest thing in the world. That doesn't make sense. G7 with a C on top. I'm just changing the chord and keeping the melody.
Yeah, I got minor, so I was just doing that. But
Yeah, that works great.
yeah. Cool. Well, I didn't mean to get into something else, but I knew that,
Oh,
you know, when something pops in your head that, like, something was up with that I never quite got. I'm sure there's other ones that'll keep popping up for me.
well, I can't believe how great a system it is to just really bust down any way of thinking about what theoretical thing explains it and just separate the melody from the harmony
Exactly.
because they operate with different rules in the same way that playing F minor pentatonic over an F blues can sound super badass.
Yeah.
But if you say what every single one of those notes is to whatever chord Daniel Clark is playing underneath it, it defeats the concept that melody is operating in a different atmosphere than harmony.
Yeah.
You know, and so when you play them on the guitar, try to let the melody be melodic, you know, and
And
not
it's the same point.
part of the chord, you know.
Exactly what I said I need to start doing. I just brought up a thing where I'm still doing it. I'm like, why is this melody note different on this chord? And you're like, we just talked about that.
This tune would be great. Steal some of what I'm doing or do your own.
Yeah.
Finish the
love
nearness
this
of
tune.
you because there's some great things that happen here. And if I were going to try to play a diminished scale sound over that chord, it's not going to sound as good as That's harmonic major.
Yeah.
But even just regular F stuff's going to sound fine because it resolves to F right away.
Sure.
And then over this A altered, play F.
Yeah, sure.
Right? That's the
Yeah.
Daniel sound. God, how do you do that? I'm just playing in F and being happy and bluesy and melodic while the chords are moving underneath it.
Hitting the chord.
Exactly. Where it intersects with the chord
Right.
is the interesting part. And that's, like we said, qualifying it, land your melody and resolve it, pop your chord underneath it,
Yeah.
and you'll realize the simple place that you landed your melody on becomes an interesting extension for the chord a lot of the time.
Yeah. Totally, man.
All right. I'll see you
right.
next week. Sorry if it go long.
No, it's all good. I'm sorry for you. But yeah, it's a couple weeks.
Okay. See you, man.
Have a
Bye.
good Christmas.
You too.